So I asked myself two questions. I'm not a football player right now. So who am I? And then who do I want to be for those around me? And my family and my friends and the people who I come across. And that's how I started. I do things now based on, I love the process of improving myself and the process of getting better. And I think that's where a lot of football has taught me to be able to, whatever's going on around you, whatever situation you're in, there's nothing better and there's nothing more efficient than the process of getting better.
I think that obsession to detail, obsession with mastery is a useful transferable skill that you can take anywhere. Because for me, the comfort it brings me with knowing that talent is practice in disguise is that means I can do anything I bloody well want and be good at it if I'm willing to do the work and if I choose to care.
I try to squeeze as much as I could because there's always challenges, there's always bad luck, but can you work around it? Can you still squeeze? Can you be the best version of yourself? That's what I tried to do, is be the best version of myself in every single moment.
My guest this week is Robert Earnshaw. Rob Earnshaw is, of course, a former professional footballer. He played 59 times for Wales, scoring many, many goals. He is the record holder for the only professional footballer to have ever scored a hat-trick in the Premier League, all three divisions of English football, the FA Cup and the League Cup, and of course scored a hat-trick for his country. So he's a little bit of a hero in many of the towns that he's played for across the UK and across the globe. And he joined me in the studio here today in Singapore to talk about football, but also more to talk about self-development, self-mastery, obsession, practice, and the theme of talent being practice in disguise. And really, what's next? How do you reinvent yourself? How do you remain curious? How do you rechannel and redirect all that competitive energy and competitive instincts once your days as a professional athlete are over? I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. Rob, thank you for coming on my podcast. A real pleasure to have you. Really enjoyed spending time with you this weekend. Just to situate the conversation for everyone watching and listening, we're here in Singapore. We've been playing in the Soccer 7 series. First ever time this 7-a-side tournament's been held in Singapore. And your first ever time in Singapore, correct? Like, how good has it been seeing some of your old teammates playing in this tournament? What's your lasting impressions of Singapore going to be?
Well, first of all, yeah, we played in the Soccer 7 series. Yeah. First time it's been here in Singapore. And you know what? Because we've played professional football, so it's slightly different. 7-a-side, you think, okay, we've done lots of that in training. And then once you come out here, you don't know how the tournament's going to go. Is it going to be successful? Is it not? Is it going to be, fun? That's the big thing, because we want to have fun with it. But it was awesome. It was really awesome. Yeah, I think I enjoyed it so much. And just speaking to the guys as well that played in the tournament, it seems as if it was a big success. All the players loved playing in it. The competition was there. Lots of goals for the fans as well. And I think it was awesome. And I think that one of the beauty was we're in Singapore. So Singapore, lasting impression.
I mean, you had a chance to walk around and you saw the city.
Yeah.
I know you've made the most of your kind of 4 or 5 days here, which has been great to see.
Yeah. It just feels like we've fitted in so much, which is great. I love that. And I got to do a few local things, walk around, see the city. And I love Singapore. It's awesome. Yeah, I love it. The people have been so nice, so good. We've been looked after. Got to do a few of the local things. I tried the chicken rice.
Done.
I love it. I went to a hawker center.
Yeah.
Just walked around and just kind of be about the city, get a feel of it. Yeah. So cool stuff. Obviously, Marina Bay Sands, all of those things. So I've really, really enjoyed it.
Perfect. Well, hopefully we can get the squad back together next year. I'm sure we'll see you and a lot of the other guys back here. You got to bust out the Somersault celebration as well. How many years has it been since that got?
It's been 10 years.
10 years.
The last time I did it, my last professional game I was in Vancouver playing in MLS. And we had Houston at home, last game of the season. And I scored a header.
A towering header or a stooping header?
No, it was more of a clinical, great movement header. Yeah. Just glanced header into the far corner. Smallest guy on the pitch. So, last time I did it was 10 years ago.
Amazing.
It was interesting because it's funny because you score and there's that feeling comes back, and you're off. You lose yourself for a second. I was gonna do the somersault, then I was like, "Ooh, it's been a while."
Remembered my age. Can I still do it?
Yeah. Am I gonna make it?
Yeah.
But do you know what? Yeah, it was nice. I think the adrenaline, being in the competition, scoring a goal again. I think that got me through the celebration and the famous somersault.
Funny, you stuck the landing. You stuck the landing.
A lot of people still say, because a lot of people obviously remember they used to love me celebrating goals and of course the somersault. So a lot of people still to this day, have you got the somersault? Have you got the somersault? And I was glad that this weekend the somersault came out, and funnily enough, my son is the biggest one who jokes with me a lot. So he plays it, and he's got the back somersault.
Does he?
Yeah.
He's got that in his locker.
Yeah. So it's been a long time since he's seen me do the somersault. So he's always saying to me, "Dad, you haven't got it." He's joking with me.
Have you sent him the clip from this weekend?
Absolutely. I said,
Good.
So he's, "Dad, you haven't got the somersault. No, you're too old now. He's 15 now, but he always jokes with me. So I'm glad I can send him that. And say,
that's awesome.
It's still there.
Your old man still got it.
Yeah. Still in the locker.
Yeah. It was nice to see the muscle memory kick in. And I think one thing that always kind of stuck with me watching you play football and, watching you play this weekend as well, you always played with a smile. You actually looked like you really enjoyed it. And when you scored, you wanted to share that joy with the fans. Yeah. Something I'd love to kind of bounce off you because you played at a much higher level than me. When I was younger, I used to use anger a lot as fuel on the football pitch. It made me play better. So your Roy Keanes, your Gennaro Gattusos of the world, you see when they're angry, they play better. Right? Steven Gerrard, probably similar. A little bit of fire in the belly, played better. Whereas some people like Ronaldinho, yourself, I feel like you played better when you were free and you were happy. Was that a deliberate choice? Or is that something more kind of just naturally ingrained?
Yeah, I think deliberate choice. And I think deliberate choice subconsciously. Yeah. But at the same time, going off how you feel, how your core, how you really feel, because when we're all young, we start to look and we see football on TV, or it doesn't have to be football. We see things, whatever inspires you, whatever you're into and you enjoy, and that something that sparks you inside, and you start looking and you start thinking in a certain way. There's a fire you have to have. I think in any professional kind of environment, and it's elite and performing and trying to perform. There's always that fire. But for me, a lot of it was fire plus also, I think, the beauty, being able to kind of just flow with things. And I'm glad you said it exactly how I would kind of describe it. I saw football as a way of, enjoyment. It's entertainment. Yeah. It's competition, and there's fire there. But at the same time, it comes with a smile, with an enjoyment. And for me, to get the best out of me was I needed to smile, because I always thought that if I ever got the chance to play professional football, when I felt the best and I did the best, I was smiling, enjoying, and there was a calmness within me. Yeah. And then at the same time, the way I saw the game was with joy. And I wanted to transfer that across, because the reason I fell in love with football was because I saw people celebrating goals, and they're smiling and they lose themselves. And that joy is so pure on a football pitch, and, even if you're the opposition fans, you get when somebody loses themselves and they've scored a goal. So that's the reason I got into football. That's how I saw the game of football, is with that fire competition, but also with a smile, with an entertainment, with not forgetting the essence, the real key, right? The essence of what it is. Yes, there's competition. Yes, that you can see it, but at the same time, it's also, I think, with everything, it's got to be pleasing. It's got to be easy on the eye. Yeah, and I think you've got to pull people with a bit of emotion. So that's how I've seen football. That's how I think it got the best out of me, is being able to have that.
Yeah, no, I love that, and it was always very obvious the connection you had with the fans. Obviously, as a goal scorer, they're going to love you more. As a striker, right? Because you're the one that, inevitably kind of gets the team over the line. But you're right, the essence of it is supposed to be enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? As kids, we played on the street, or a lot of us did, and it was always about scoring goals and having fun. And I think a lot of modern sport has almost become too corporate and money driven, and we forget that the essence of it is to be entertained. Are you not entertained? You know, that's why you're there. If you've been enjoying the podcast and you're finding my channel valuable, can I please ask you a very quick favor? Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on audio, please just take 2 seconds to hit subscribe. When you do that, you help me grow the show, you keep the wheels turning, and enable me to get bigger and better guests. Thank you.
It's so true, and I was always thinking, even when I was playing, I was always thinking, I'll be out on the pitch and I can't wait to score a goal.
Yeah.
The reason I can't wait to score a goal is because I want that moment where I lose myself for a second. And my favorite thing to do in football was score goals, put the ball in the back of the net, because I was always told, and I grew up, it's the aim of the game. You know, people are there to watch goals. They're not there to watch a slide tackle. I always say they're there. Of course, they enjoy. People enjoy, but it's the moment where a certain team scores a goal. It changes the dynamic of the game. You know, can the other team come back? Now they score a goal. Oh, it's huge. Fans are cheering. Everybody feels that moment. So it's, you know, for me, it was about, you know, can I score a goal and do the hardest thing on the pitch that there is? Yeah. And for me, in my position, it was that satisfaction of achieving some kind of great thing on the field. And then after that, then celebrate. I think it's so important to just really enjoy it. And you know, especially when I score a goal, it was always about, I always thought back to, if it was me watching somebody, I would love to see them just uncontrollably enjoy themselves when they're doing that elite thing, that, you know, playing at the highest level, but that you can still feel their joy. That's what it's always been about with me.
No, I love that, the raw human emotion of it, because if someone scores and they're kind of very nonchalant about it, it's not quite the same in terms of that connection with the fans. We like seeing people who are about it and are obsessed and they just lose themselves in the moment. So I completely resonate with that. How hard has it been for you? Maybe it hasn't been hard. Maybe it's been very easy and seamless. How hard is it for you to now, you know, 10 years on, live without that adrenaline rush of scoring in front of 20, 30, 40,000 people? Because it's very hard to explain to someone who hasn't done it. It's the best chemical on earth, right? Scoring a goal in front of 40,000 people. It's very hard to then replace that high and that rush. How have you dealt with it?
Yeah, I think it's hard for anybody. It really is. There's no kind of going around, you know, the whole thing. I think it's just hard, you know, because you have, you know, certain goals and you have certain ideas, and this is what I want to do, and it's everything. Yeah. And then when it's everything, and lucky, I got to play at the highest level where I wanted to play at. I got to play there. And when that is kind of taken away from you in a way, or you have to put it down. That's the best way. You have to put it down. You have to put it down, and it's your choice. And like anything, imagine, you know, when you have to say no to something, it's always one of the hardest things. When I had to retire from football, I was ready for it, but nobody ever really gives you, how is it going to feel? Yeah. Even if you're ready, how's it going to really feel day to day? It's very different to just making a decision. After you make a decision, then, okay, now you're in it. And it was, I think for me, I always say, I think it took a year or two to really process for me, where I was like, wow, okay, I'm not every day going to training, seeing the physios, preparing for a game on Saturday or Tuesday, whenever it is. And I think it's hard to just replace that. You're right. Football is, being on the pitch or doing something elite is the best chemical. It is, the feeling that you get is very different. And for me, especially, you know, scoring a goal in front of, you know, 80,000, 40,000, 60,000, it's special. That noise. It's one of the best things. For me, how I've dealt with it, and I kind of, the way I kind of looked at things, you know, I've always wanted to be a football player, and I was lucky to achieve exactly what my dream was.
So even that in itself is interesting. You had a singular goal as a child. This is it. This is for me.
Yeah, since I remember probably, and I was a late comer to the game.
I remember you saying, right? Yeah.
It's not like I was playing, football, and background is, born in Zambia, in Africa, grew up, I moved around a couple of different countries when I was young, moved to UK, got to UK, and I remember seeing on TV, the Premier League, and I was like, wow, okay. And then I watched more, and then I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to play against great players, play at the highest level, score goals. That's what I want to do. So for me, that was the dream. And I got to achieve that, fast forward a few years later. But it was, it's the best thing. It's the best chemical to actually go and do that. And when, like you say, when you put it down and then you have to figure out afterwards, especially when you're not doing the thing that you have spent 20 years just focusing on, zoned in, you have to then figure out other things. Do you have other passions? Are you interested in other things? Do you want to do, other professions? I tell you, for me, when I was playing football, even, when I describe all of those things, football is what I was doing, and I love it, but it wasn't always who I am. Yeah. I was always interested in other things. I was always curious about other things. So when I retired, it was, it's the next chapter. I'm putting it down here, but it's always going to be a part of me. Football's, is always going to be a part of me, and it's what I've been known for. But it's the next chapter. So I asked myself two questions. I'm not a football player right now. So who am I right now? Yes. If I'm not on the field playing football, and then who do I want to be? For those around me, and my family and my friends, and the people who I come across. And that's how I started. And it's been great. So, I do things now based on not, like the football career where you're told what time to be in.
Exactly where to be.
The physio, you're seeing the physio at this time, then you've got to do this, then you might be in the gym, training starts at 11:30 or 11, whatever. Then, you do your time on the field, then you're out. Video is this time. So all of these, you spend a lot of time where your times and your schedule is bang, 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 bang. These are the times. And then you have to do it yourself. And I've really enjoyed, and I started to push myself to enjoy now where I am, what I'm doing, setting my own schedule. What do I want to do? And the last few years, what's been nice is I'm still around the game. I coached for 5 years when I retired. That's why I retired from playing. I went into coaching, really enjoyed that, really enjoying giving back, speaking football, talking about experiences. And in the last few years, I've been doing broadcasting and TV and talking about, obviously football and analyzing football, as well as doing speaking as well is the other thing, public speaking and talking in front of people. Sometimes it's football, sometimes it's corporate. So sometimes you're out of your environment where it's not a football crowd, it's a corporate crowd or a business crowd, or it's an actual full football environment. So it's taught me a lot, but that's how I think I've dealt with it and replaced it is being able to kind of still do podcasts, still do TV, still kind of talk about football in a sense, but also the other things that I'm interested in. I think you can't always replace what you felt in football. Yes. But you can move on to the next chapter and almost reveal what other things, because I don't think everybody is just about one thing. No. And for me, like I said earlier about, football is what I've been doing, but it's not who I am. Sure. I wanted to do other things. I wanted to achieve other things. I wanted to travel and experience and experience real life, and And that's been great for me.
And I don't think you necessarily need to just choose one of those three hats, right? So you kind of talked about the public speaking, the media work, and the coaching. You can have a portfolio career, right? Which is the beauty of it. And you can wear all those three hats depending on how you're feeling in that current week, month, year, all the different seasons of your life. I think it's great.
And that's how I've always kind of felt, you know, because when you play football, I think a lot of people kind of tend to put you in one box.
For sure.
And as you're a football player, it's like, yes, I'm a football player for a few hours of the day. But then the rest of the time, I'm into this. I like this. I enjoy this. I'm working on this. And I never saw myself as just one thing.
Yeah.
And I've never been just, it's this or that. I'm like, well, you can do both. It's a long 24 hours in the day.
And I think that's where a lot of the kind of cognitive dissonance comes in for a lot of footballers and athletes. And again, this is about transferable principles and transferable lessons from football, from sport to business to everything else, is that when you reduce your identity to your work, you know, even if you're a lawyer, a banker, an accountant, a footballer, it doesn't matter. When you reduce your identity just to what you do during the day as work, you're going to run into problems when that job is taken away from you, or you have to put it down, as you beautifully said. Right? Yeah,
I agree. And I think whatever you do and however whatever your profession is in that kind of bracket, I think most people are always interested in other things. There's always something that you kind of felt like if you didn't do this thing that you do now, you could have done that.
So that is a great setup for me. You just teed me up. What is the thing? Is there something kind of nagging away at you and eating away at you that if you don't pursue it, and if you didn't follow that curiosity, that you would regret?
Every single day, I watch smart and otherwise successful people struggle to communicate their value. They have the expertise, but they're not brilliant speakers. And they lack the technique, they lack the gravitas to deliver their ideas with impact. They don't know how to speak in a way that makes people listen. The good news is that the principles and techniques of effective public speaking can be taught. They can be learned. And the truth is most working professionals, many senior executives, are probably operating at 7 out of 10 in terms of their communication potential. You are talented, you are hardworking, you're good at what you do. But if you're honest, you know deep down that you're leaving money and opportunities on the table every time you're asked to present to an audience. Now, my approach isn't about making someone you're not. It's about accessing the best version of yourself when it matters most. And what I'm good at is helping people find the emotional center, find the central truth of their message. I help them find their narrative, one that will resonate with their audience. I help busy executives and entrepreneurs just like you compress years into weeks. I pull your future forward so that you can start holding the attention of your audience today. Do not let another great idea die unspoken. Do not let another opportunity pass you by because you couldn't find the right words at the right time. Your voice matters. Your ideas deserve to be heard. Let me be the one to make sure that's the case. Click the link or visit my website and submit an inquiry. Let's unlock the confident communicator you were always meant to be.
Great question. I always think, for me, I love to learn. I love to learn new things, or the things that I've always felt that, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. And I think when you talk about kind of replacing football, sometimes it's not going to always, everything's not going to always be financial or be, bring some kind of end result in terms of outward, with as if it's only professional, because a lot of people only think about then things professionally
that has a commercial outcome, right?
Yes, exactly. And for me, it's just kind of been about looking in. And what I think some of the things I've started to do, for example, I've always wanted to play chess.
I saw your WhatsApp profile picture is you playing chess. I was going to ask you about that.
So I started learning chess a few years ago, and I would have regretted it if I didn't. So I love to play. I play almost every day.
Amazing.
And that's maybe something. And I think being also lucky, we talk about, okay, what's kind of you been doing after football? I did have a real enjoyment in media and having these conversations and talking about life and talking about these things. I'm doing broadcasting for the last few years
Yes.
as a profession, but it's also because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it if I didn't really enjoy it. So I really, really enjoy it. So I think doing that has been great.
Yeah.
And I think, do you know what? I think the biggest thing is I always feel like I think in the next few years, can I evolve? I think it's more internal. Where can I make myself better? Because I'm always on this journey of the process of bettering myself.
Yes.
Could I have done this better? Yeah. Okay. I'll work on that. So I think that's the thing for me, drives me. But at the same time, if I don't kind of learn something every day and work on something every day, and have a goal for a day, a week, a year, that's the things that I would regret the most. Because I think for me, if I get up and don't do anything, I think soon enough, I won't be myself anymore.
Yeah. Well, you want to live a self-authorized life, right? Where you're not just kind of subject to everything. And that plays well into your chess analogy, actually. So one idea I have that's kind of been incepted and I can't let it go is this idea of life being like this massive 3D chessboard, right? And a lot of people think just things happen. Of course, bad things happen to good people, and there is a massive element of randomness and luck and chance. However, that being said, I think if you have the right attitude, if you take chances, you put yourself out there, you can actually move things around the chessboard of life and influence things where other people say, you just got lucky. It's like, no. I saw the chessboard. I saw a few moves ahead, and it's tactics, it's strategy, even the serendipity of us meeting on Thursday. And now we're here on Monday. Do you know what I mean? It's if you see something in the moment, and we had that chat on stage, we had the Q&A. I loved your answer. I was like, I want to ask him to come on the podcast. I don't know if he'll say yes. I don't know if he'll say no. It doesn't matter. But if I don't take the shot, we don't end up here. What is it about chess that you love? Like, what is it about that game that kind of has really caught your attention?
Yeah, I think the biggest. I've always been curious. Ever since I was young, the pieces. How they are.
Yeah, interesting.
It just looks interesting.
Yeah, me too, actually.
And I think also I always relate it back to football. It's I always see chess kind of so close to football. In terms of football, it's the training, then going into the actual game, playing the game, but it's a tactical game. It's a strategic game. It's about patience.
Yes.
It's about being able to think past what you can only just see now. It's thinking 5, 6, 7, 10 moves ahead.
Yeah.
It's being able to, teach you how to kind of process things, and football's very, very similar.
Very similar, actually, when you think about it. When to defend, when to attack.
Yeah.
And there's always an angle, isn't it?
Yes.
There's always an angle.
And it's tactics, and it actually very close to how life works as well. So I think maybe that's the core curiosity about chess, football, life is, there's some things that are tactical and some things that are logical. Some things you have to see past what's in front of you to see what you're capable of, and it's there's a lot of similarities I see within those things. So I think that's what I'm curious about. That's what I love about the game. Plus, also it's a game. It takes you away, takes your mind away, and you're zoned in. And it could be 20 minutes later, and you're like, the time is gone. I think it's very rare. Things that take your mind and time just goes fast forward.
Well, it's almost like we said before we turn the cameras on. That's one of the reasons I love podcasting. It's because it just channels and forces presence. You have to be here.
Yeah.
Same with chess, right? As you said, you get into a flow state and you lose track of time. So a bit like football, you're just in flow state. You're channeling presence. It's beautiful. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And when it clicks, when you can just see things, 3, 4, 6 steps ahead. It's very, you just know it. Things just flow, and it's so easy. And you think, how.
Yeah.
But it was the same on the field. You know, you had to kind of look, see, and being able to think quick in the moment. You also had to kind of be patient, wait for the right timing, the movement. You know, chess is very, very similar in that way.
Yeah.
But I think what I really enjoy about it is the kind of the competition about it as well.
Always have to circle back to the competitive drive.
Yeah. But I think you know, things like that I really enjoy. But it's I think there's always a connection. Yeah, there's always the connection in what you enjoy to do. So yeah.
So one idea I'd love to explore with you is, so I have this belief, I reduce it to a one-liner: talent equals practice in disguise. Talent is practice in disguise. Fundamental core belief of mine. Whether it's football, public speaking, you know, any kind of elite athlete or performer you see, it's just practice. And they did it when no one was watching. They did all the reps in the dark when the cameras weren't on, before they stepped onto the field. First of all, kind of, you can disagree, agree, disagree, pick that apart.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, business is very similar to sport in that it's almost an excuse, or it's just a vehicle for self-development and self-improvement. So what are the life lessons you think, what did football give you that is transferable now? You know, now you're in your 40s and you're evolving and moving to the next chapter of your life. If you can unpack that for me a bit.
Yeah, I think football's been amazing for me because what it's taught me a lot is, one, you have to be adaptable. You have to be flexible. I think that's a big thing because, you know, since you're young, you're thrown into a brand new team.
Yeah.
You have to then, it's taught me a lot about then being social, being able to speak to people. You have to quickly be able to adapt and speak to completely different people, different mindsets, different ideas. You know, in any business, when you start a new job, something brand
and you're
new.
the new guy. Yeah.
You're thrown into it, and there's always a day one. Yeah. And on day one, you have to figure it out. You have to learn to speak to people. Football's given me a lot of that. Football's, you know, you go into a dressing room, and he's from here, and you have to learn to communicate. I think that's the big thing, that communication to end up with a certain goal of yours. And, you know, football's also taught me a lot, actually, in terms of being a team player.
Okay.
But at the same time, understanding your role within that team.
Yeah.
Being able to, for example, I'm a striker. I need to score goals. For me to score goals, you know, I'm going to need to do ABC. And if I do those things, my team gets better. I improve my left winger, my central midfielder. And if I do my job, the whole team wins. So I was always thinking about, how can I do my bit, my speciality to help the team. Yeah. Because you got to do it individually. So the team wins.
Yeah.
And I think football's taught me a lot of that, being able to figure that out. And also, I think one of the big things is things like discipline, patience. Patience, you know, there's times where I'm in the game and I'm playing, and there's times when I'm not. So I have to be patient, wait for my chance. When I do get my chance, then football's also sometimes taught me how to perform in the moment when you need it as well. You know, when you need to get into the team, and you need to earn that place and keep that place. I need to go and score goals. If I score goals, I've produced a high level in that day, so I can play the next game and the next game. And if I do that consistently, I'm now an elite player. So it's taught me a lot about kind of really mastering your craft, really trying to produce that elite moment, but it's also trying to do it consistently.
Yeah, and the hard thing, I think, is producing that elite moment when you feel underappreciated, right? Because a lot of the time you're used as an impact substitute. You're brought on from the bench, for example. I know I found it difficult, and I know lots of other people will find it difficult, whether they're sportsmen and women or in the business world. You sometimes have a manager who doesn't believe in you, right? They don't rate you, but you have to bide your time and wait for your chance. And when it's showtime, then you need to really turn up, right?
Yeah.
How did you handle those kind of times when maybe you had a manager who didn't believe in you? What lessons did you use then?
I think everybody always has a moment where you have to prove yourself. And you have to prove yourself because you feel it in the room. How I did it was I've always felt kind of like, well, I want to play. Yeah. I want to play football. I want to be in the game, you know, and this will maybe transfer into, other areas. But for me to do that, I have to work. I have to practice. I have to work on my craft. I have to try and be a master at what I do. Even at times where people are not looking.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a training session, but I'm thinking about it. I'm processing it. I'm understanding what to do, because the other thing is you can also practice physically, as in football, you got a training session. Physically, we're going to be there. But then the rest of the time, you might be practicing mentally.
Yeah. Talk to me about visualization. How much did you use visualization?
Huge for me. And the interesting thing is visualization, I didn't know I was doing it till probably close to the end of my career.
Okay.
Because I always used to kind of watch and study and look at it and look at the game, look at my position, look at the certain little details, look at skills. And, for example, I'm a forward player. So I need to score goals. So I looked at it and thought, okay, I need to learn how to finish. I need to create the spaces. I need to put myself into a position to be elite, to perform. I need to practice that situation and practice it, understand it, and be able to then, when I get my chance, I've done it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I've processed it. My body's been through that situation. Yes. It's not going to freeze up. It's not going to tense up. It's going to be in that flow state when it happens.
Yeah.
So I broke it down. I broke it down in terms of, okay, I'm going to need great movement. I'm going to need to have the technique, work on my technique, movement, understanding, okay, where's the defenders? Where's what do I need to maneuver around to be able to put myself into a position, do that, practice that. And then it's the execution, right? It's being able to, okay, I've done all that, practiced it.
And I've rehearsed it 1,000 times in my mind's eye as well.
But it's still very different once you're in the moment, because there's other factors that come in that maybe sometimes it's very hard to practice for.
Yeah.
And now you're in the moment. Now you have to deliver. Now you have to execute. And in that moment, then, if for example, I always look at things as a learning moment. If I score, or for example, if in that moment I arrive, I miss, it's a learning moment. What could I have done? Was my timing a little bit off?
Yeah.
Could I have tweaked this here? Could I have done this a little bit better? Could I have, all the little details and really analyze it? But if it goes well, great. I still kind of do the same thing. But yes, I executed. Yeah. I delivered. But was there a higher level even?
Still something to unlock.
Yeah. So there's always a learning moment in it. And then, for the next time, it's a little bit better. You're a little bit mentally prepared. Fast forward 10 years later, you're then experienced.
Exactly. Yeah.
And somebody's calling you, oh, it's natural.
Sure. He's a natural.
Yeah. So
no such thing.
It's things like that. So, it's funny how football teaches you a lot of these things, and you are kind of going through it. And I was always I loved the process of improving myself and the process of getting better. And I think that's where a lot of, football has taught me to be able to, whatever's going on around you, whatever situation you're in, there's nothing better and there's nothing more efficient than the process of getting better. when people say trust the process, that's for me what I've always kind of really enjoyed. Yes, on game day, on when the lights are on and I have to deliver, it'll be fine because I'm enjoying the process of getting better. And I think because, especially with football, when you focus in on getting better every day, and you really zone into that, I don't, not just turning up, you did the session, you tick the box, and then move on. I always looked at it as I turn up and I study it.
Yeah.
And the key was I don't want to just go home and there's another session ticked off.
Sure.
I wanted to go home and I felt that sense of I improved today.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't want to just be in the session. I wanted to improve in the session. And one of the things I've always kind of hung on to was I want to become a master at that thing. And there's lots of little details within my field that that we can kind of go into. But the key was always I want to be a master at my craft.
Yeah.
That's the core drive for me. And if I'm a master, in the moment when I need to be elite and the lights are on and I have to deliver and execute, it'll happen.
You've done the work.
It'll happen because I was becoming a master, mastering my craft, mastering the details. So it's not a sudden jump. And what do I do now? I haven't got time in my situation. My time is like you get a chance. That's how quick you've got to think. You got to process. You got to analyze and execute.
Yeah, it's 1/100 of a second.
It's very different. You've got a project. You have 6 months for this project. I haven't got that.
Sure.
I've only got, I've got 90 minutes. And within that 90 minutes, I might touch the ball 2 handfuls of the time.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Was it the average player in that 90 minutes? You have the ball for maybe 2-3 minutes max, right?
You know, imagine 90 minutes, 2-3 minutes. That's all really you've got.
To make a difference.
That's so. I haven't got a year, 2-year project. I've got 90 minutes, and within that 90 minutes, I might have 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If I've got 2 or 3 minutes, I need to have mastered my craft. And in the moment when I'm needed, and I've only got a second to make a decision, I can do it because I've been through it.
Yeah.
It's not because in anything that you do, there's always a bit of anxiety, a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of indecision, especially when you got time. And the more time you have, sometimes it's not so good for you. And I always say, you know, for forward players especially, you want to be able to make a quick decision and understand what that decision brings as well. And then being able to, when you do make the decision, you know, you've processed it. And this is maybe going off the tactical side, the chess side of me, being able to process 5, 6, you know, the grandmasters will be 15 to 20 moves ahead, and being able to process that, but be able to do it very, very quickly and make a decision very quickly. And because you know what comes after, you know what that decision will make, and then being able to also live with it, live with the decision that you've made, you're comfortable and you know it, and you didn't spend a million years thinking and overthinking about it. You practiced it, you've done it before, and then when it comes, you can make the decision and be able to handle the pressure of you got to do it quick.
Let's face it, most corporate training workshops, they're dull. They're uninspiring. And the truth is, when working professionals see the words CPD or training booked in their calendar, their first feeling is not one of excitement, but of dread. As partner and head of corporate training at Quinlan & Associates, I've delivered workshops at family offices, at some of the world's largest listed companies. Whether it's the art of communication, mindset, motivation, or building high-performance teams, I would love to be the one to help you deliver training that your people can actually look forward to, and they will remember for a very long time. Click the link below, or visit my website, michaelxcampion.com, or visit quinlanassociates.com to find out more.
Well, a lot of wisdom or mastery is pattern recognition, right? You've seen the pattern. I know where the ball is going to land in the box 5 seconds before it actually happens, right? That's why the best poachers and natural goal scorers, I hate the word natural because it's just practice, but the most practiced and rehearsed goal scorers know where the ball's going to land. Just like the chess master knows where I'm going to move my pawn 5 moves from now. He knows he's planted the seed and I'm going to fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. But I think that obsession to detail, obsession with mastery is a useful transferable skill that you can take anywhere. Because for me, the comfort it brings me with knowing that talent is practice in disguise is that means I can do anything I bloody well want and be good at it if I'm willing to do the work and if I choose to care, right? How much do you care? It's up to you, Rob. It's up to you, Michael. How much you choose to care to be good at this thing. So, how useful has that, I think, discipline and obsession with mastery been for you post-playing days? Do you find it a useful attribute to have?
Yeah, and we talk about what football's taught me. Football's taught me that a lot. Being able to be obsessive with getting better. I just needed to figure out, okay, what do I want after? Now, what's my next chapter? What's my next thing? It's been very, very useful. Football's given me that kind of that ability to. You have to work for it. Yeah. You have to go and practice, and when you do, yes, you can. It's transferable. Also, being able to now look at things and being able to be like, okay, what do I want to do? And the biggest thing every day is I look at my health. Yeah. And when you retire, people kind of think of, you're retired and you don't have to do it anymore.
Margaritas on the beach.
Yeah. You don't have to do it anymore. But I realized, okay, no, that's not my process. So football's taught me to, take care of my health. Yeah. Because that's the number one. Yeah. If we haven't got health, we've literally got nothing.
Sure.
So every day, one of the things on my schedule of the day in the 24 hours, 2 to 3 hours of that will be based on my health, whatever that is. Okay. Maybe I'm going to play paddle. Maybe I'm going to play football. Maybe I'm going to go to the gym. Maybe I'm going to go for a walk. 2 to 3 hours is given to that. Yeah. And I think, being able to play football has given me a way of being able to schedule my time now. And then the discipline of that.
Yeah, but you see, you've maintained the discipline, right? You're still in really good nick, look after yourself, and everything is downstream of kind of physical health. If you don't have that, you don't have a lot. But a lot of ex-pros, they don't have the discipline. You see, once they've come out the institution of professional football, they do put on a lot of weight and they don't look after themselves.
It's hard.
Right?
Yeah.
It is hard. I'm not blaming these guys. It's...
Yeah, and it is because it's hard. And I always found after playing, I wanted to do the hard things because to get anywhere in life and to do some things that people kind of don't think that you're going to do, I think you have to start to do some hard things. And some of the hard things is, listen, there's some days where I don't want to get up and do my 2 to 3 hours physically. Yeah. I'm too tired. Yeah. But I know, and I've slowly got to a stage where I'll get it done. Yeah. Because I've made it into a habit. Yeah. I've done it and slowly made small little steps to now I'm going to do 2 to 3 hours today. Yeah. Because it's part of the day.
Yeah. And you made a commitment to yourself that you were going to do it.
And that's the big thing. Yeah. And one of my favorite quotes from Kobe Bryant was, when you make a contract with yourself, and I just thought that's so powerful. Yeah. He didn't want to break a contract with himself. When he said, no, this is what I'm doing, and that's what I've committed to, that's what I'm that's what I'm gonna do. And I love that because it kind of just gave me words to how I was feeling. I just didn't know the words. And when I heard that, I was just like, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I want to make a contract with myself and say, okay, if I'm getting up and doing this, that's what I'm doing. And I think that's super powerful to be able to okay, right, I need to do this today.
Yeah.
And I've never always wanted to just do something.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You don't strike me as someone who will do half measures. You're in or you're out. Right?
Yeah.
If you're in, you're in. We're doing it properly, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I've always, the way I always see things is I want to do it with my full passion. I want to do it with my full discipline. And I want to do it with my full enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And when I do that thing, I think the best will come out because I don't want to just be okay. Yeah, we did it. I wanted it. I want things to be excellent.
Yeah.
And I really, that's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And with feeling, I think sometimes a lot of people forget, do it with feeling.
Absolutely.
Do it with everything.
Yeah.
I had a coach once who always used to shout like, do it with feeling.
Who was that?
Do it with feeling. I think Wales under 21s, an old coach that we had. And he always used to shout, do it with feeling. When you strike a ball, when you hit a ball, it's like, come on, do it with feeling. And it always stuck with me. And I was like, that's exactly how I feel, because it's very different when you just go, tick.
Just turn up.
Tick. But it's very different when you go and go bang.
Yeah.
And then with feeling, it's very different. And you also, what automatically happens is you tap into the best of yourself.
Yes.
That real fire where you can reach something really, really great has to come with that feeling, has to come with that fire, that real deep core of you has to come out. And I think you reach a higher level. Because I always used to think that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to go all the way with it.
Yeah.
If I'm aiming for the top of the tree, I'm aiming for right to the top of the tree. And if I achieve it, amazing. If I don't, might land on the second branch up. I'm still very, very high.
Yeah, exactly.
And I might land on the second branch, third branch, whatever. But at least I won't feel disappointed in myself.
Yeah, and you can look
because
yourself
I
in the mirror.
aimed for everything. I went all in fully for that one thing. Yeah. And if I achieve it, amazing. If I don't, I'm still going to be proud of myself because I went all in for it.
Yeah.
And I have to handle, okay, it just didn't happen. I have to be able to handle that. And I think that's maybe also something I've learned along the way is being able to handle when you don't hit that highest level of something. Maybe it's still coming. Yeah. Maybe something the universe is saying, just be patient.
Yeah.
This is just a learning moment, but it's still coming.
Your finest hour is yet to come.
Yeah, you keep working, keep going. It's still coming. You when you suddenly don't, you think, it's not coming, or and then all of a sudden it pops up and you reach that highest moment. Yeah. I think sometimes the patience, the continuing consistency, doing something later on along the way, the universe starts to meet you halfway.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. I love the way you put it. I think a lot of people in business and in life and in sport, the cruel irony of life is that you can put in so much effort into something, and just at that moment you want to quit is when you need to dig deep and double down. And then you emerge through the other side. But the beauty is that point when most people give up, that's the reason most people fail. That's exactly why you feel you want to give up as well. That's precisely the moment where everyone else falls off and you as an elite athlete manage to kind of persevere and push through.
Yeah. And just talking about that as well is I think when you're faced with challenges and hard challenges, that gets to the core of you, and you sometimes you feel so down. I think you have to learn. You have to make some small steps to pick yourself up, and have whatever technique you use. You have to try and find the right technique that works for you. Yeah. I've found that within sport, within life lessons, within not just being training and on the field and in games, when we're off the field, when I'm walking around in a new city and I see things and experience things and the highs and lows, you learn how to kind of get stronger along the way.
Can I ask you, you mentioned the word disappointment and hard times. Is there anything that sticks in your mind when you said that? I could like see you physically kind of, it was visceral. Like what were the hardest moments you think in your career or personal life, if you're willing to share, that you feel like, okay, I've really tapped into something here that I needed to get through this?
You know, I think one of the hardest things, and I think the biggest things that probably everyone goes through, is when you lose relationships, I think, you know, because I think what a lot of people, you're always accumulating lots of relationships along the way.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a kid, then you're a teenager, and then when you're grown, and you're always kind of accumulating relationships and different people. And then I think when you kind of sometimes lose those relationships, it's very, very hard. Or when you're faced with certain things, you're faced with it's a challenge, right? And you're in a situation where you're like, could I have done better? Could I have improved? And that's what I always tap into is could I have done better? Okay, I need to work on that. I need to be better at that. I need to sit with that a second and hold on to that a second and process it. So when I come out the other side, I'm much, much better. So I think those things, you know, and that could be, you know, in your sport, in your field, in your work, in your personal life. I think those things are always kind of there. And I think, you know, when you're the disappointment of sometimes not reaching your full potential, that's one of the hardest things. For me, when I've been in a moment and I haven't reached my full potential and delivered, I think that's one of the hardest things that I've always found is, you know, for example, I needed to, you know, play well. I needed to score goals in a certain situation. And if I did score goals, then I would have been elite. Or if I didn't score goals, it was a poor performance. So that real line between being elite and performing and being great to having a poor performance on that day, on that week, I think that's always a challenge. I've always found that a challenge. Or I think one of the things that I think for me is when I don't reach my full potential, I always feel a certain disappointment in myself. And I always want to then pick that disappointment up and do something about it.
Rather than wallow in it.
Yes.
Because I think there's probably a universal theme there in the sense that I think one of the things that will eat you alive, or will eat anyone alive, is knowing you had potential and you didn't use it. That will eat you alive until you do something about it. And you probably heard that definition of hell before, where hell is getting to the end of your life and meeting the person that you could have become. I always love that definition of hell. Getting to the end of your life and meeting the person that you could have become. Can I ask you, do you feel like you squeezed all the juice out of the lemon when it came to your career?
I think career-wise, yes. Yeah. Because when you become a professional sports person or what others consider elite, people think you are just destined to do it. So did I squeeze everything? Absolutely. Because I wasn't the biggest, the strongest, the fastest in every team. But I understood that, and then the effect or the efficiency of what I wanted to produce was then to try and squeeze everything I could. You know, if my attributes were speed, being able to really understand the situation, the field, the tactics, the space, the being able to deliver. The hardest thing on the field is put the ball in the back of the net. I think being able to kind of do that is being like, okay, I need to do that. So I'm going to practice like something else. I'm gonna visualize like something else, and I'm gonna put myself in a situation where I'm not gonna fail in that moment. It's just gonna come out, and that greatness is gonna come out.
Yeah,
and I think everybody's always got something to improve.
all of us are work in progress.
Exactly. Yeah, sure. And for me, I try to squeeze as much as I could, because there's always challenges. There's always bad luck. There's always the politics within whatever you do. There's always that. But can you work around it? Can you still squeeze? Can you be the best version of yourself? That's what I tried to do. Is be the best version of myself in every single moment that I could. I didn't always succeed.
Yeah.
That's not saying I was perfect. I didn't always succeed. Sometimes I failed. But that fail is also that lesson that I will take out of it. Yeah. And because if I failed sometimes, then I know I'll win sometimes too. The key is always, are you ready to do it or not? You could ask yourself that question. Are you ready to commit yourself to go all in and do it and squeeze everything that you can? Yeah. Because lots of people are talented, and I've had lots more talented players than me in the same dressing room, and I've not seen them make it. So for me, those were life lessons where I was like, wow, okay, he didn't get a contract. Oh, he got released. Wow.
And that guy was good.
He was so good. And you feel like, wow, he's got so many things that I feel like I'm learning off him, and he's better than me at that. I've got work to do. I don't want to be in that situation. So I need to improve myself. I need to get better.
Yeah. I love the way you phrase it. Sorry to interrupt you, but just one of the great questions, and you've come up with so many already, but what am I willing to give up? Right? When you see guys get released who are maybe more talented than you, so what am I willing to give up? What am I willing to sacrifice in order to chase my dreams?
Yeah.
It's a tough question.
And I think that's one of the things people maybe don't realize is along the way, when you're trying to achieve something elite and achieve something great, you're going to be faced with a lot of things that you're going to have to sacrifice. Sacrifice time. Okay, I can't go do that today because I've got to do this, because tomorrow I need to be prepared to do that. You rest, being able to go rest, and because you got a big game, you got a big situation, you mentally, you want to be at 100%. So there's lots of things you have to sacrifice along the way.
Yeah. Socially, you miss out on so much, don't you, right? You have to say no to so many social engagements, life events. You just can't be there for people that you love sometimes.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, for example, we went years of just, once you're practicing for something, and once you're in a season, and once you're in competition, you're missing so many things. Oh, I can't come to the birthday because I've got training. I've got a game. We've got an away game. I won't be there. Yeah. I'm away for 2 or 3 days. I've got an international camp for 2 weeks. So I'll be in a hotel, training, video room.
Don't see anyone.
Game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So I'll literally be away for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things that you sacrifice. Family, time with family. I mean, how important is that? It's everything, right? But sometimes I can't be there. I can't, I won't be able to make it. Yeah. So there's lots of things you sacrifice. And I think the other thing is you sacrifice also energy as well,
Go deeper on that.
I'm going to have to do this. I want to become elite at this. This is my passion. This is everything. I want to become really great at this. Well, okay, I'm going to have to practice. Okay, when I practice, I'm not going to feel great every day. Yeah. Today I'm tired. I'm not relying on that motivation. Yeah. I need discipline.
Sure.
But I'm exhausted. But I need to have a word with myself. So to have a word with myself, I need that energy. I need to do something. I need to really unpack and have that conversation with myself and come on, let's go. Let's get it done. It has to be done. Or just make the first step. Just go in for 5 minutes, because after 5 minutes, it turns into 10 minutes. It turns into an hour.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you're glad you did it. And I always say this: to do something really, really cool and really great and something kind of special, do it for the feeling after.
The feeling after.
Yeah. Like, for example, when I go into the gym now these days, I always say to myself, just do it for the feeling after.
Love that.
Because afterwards, I know I'm going to feel great. And I feel it every single time.
Every single time. Yeah.
So do it for the feeling after. Because once I go and I have 5 minutes, then turns into 10 minutes, then I want to get it done, because that energy kind of comes out of me. And then 1 hour later, 2 hours later, I got it done. And then I feel great. Yeah. Bang. I'm glad I did that. I achieved the goal. I achieved it.
Yeah.
Do it for the feeling after. Yeah. And to do that energy, you need to sacrifice energy sometimes. Yeah. You are tired. You don't feel like you can get it done. But find a way. Find a way and get it. And that's the energy that you need. You know, you sometimes certain things, do it sad, do it depressed, do it tired, do it when you don't feel like doing it. Do it with no time at all, and you have to 5 minutes, bang, let's go. Yeah. Do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly right. Sometimes one must just do it tired or do it afraid. Yeah, brilliant. I'd love to ask kind of a few more kind of principle-based questions as we move towards the end. I always love kind of borrowing wisdom from others, and you've worked for so many great coaches. You've had a lot of great teammates along the way. Are there any words of wisdom? And I know I'm putting you on the spot here to kind of access the memory bank, but are there any kind of words of wisdom, any great phrases? You obviously quoted your Wales under-21 coach already, kind of play it with feeling. Is there anything, words to live by? Anyone who inspired you along the way, words that stick with you?
Do you know, lots actually, yeah, because I think I've always looked at, one of my favorite quotes, you talk about, the wisdom. Bruce Lee was, when I was growing up, I was watching Bruce Lee films, and when he did that interview about, putting water, is be like water. I always learn off different people, because I just always find life is not as separated as we sometimes put it. Yeah. It's a lot of things, a lot of areas, a lot of industries, now I always look around and think, how other industries, other professions, a lot of the principles are actually so closely connected with football.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that was a realization along the way. Yeah. But it's actually a powerful thing, is life is so more connected than we feel. It's not as separated as we thought it was.
No, completely agree. And I think that's where you can be excited looking forward, because a lot of those principles and habits, behaviors you have can be rechanneled, redirected, just like water, into other areas, other industries, and you can be successful there. All right. Random question. Well, not random, it's one I've asked other guests. But it's a finish the sentence kind of question. I would be disappointed if ... I would be disappointed if.
I would be disappointed if I didn't take care of my family and I didn't reach my full potential in all the areas, whether it's relationships, whether it's family, whether it's professionally, whether it's learning to be better, whether it's self-development, whether it's physically. I would be disappointed if I didn't reach my full potential in all those areas. I think that's a
great answer.
Yeah. That's how I would put it.
I think that drives me as well.
Yeah, because I always feel, for me, I'll be disappointed if I didn't reach all of those, because I'm always chasing my potential. Yeah. I'm always chasing what I could be, what I could achieve. And we talked about wisdom one of the things also that's kind of kept me going, I heard from Kobe Bryant actually, was how after such a great basketball career, he didn't want that 20 years to just, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the highest he achieved. He wanted to be the next 20 years after playing basketball to be even better.
Yeah.
He'd be disappointed if that's all he achieved was the basketball career.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was so powerful. There's such a shift in a dynamic or a way of looking at things. Is you can be great at more than just one thing. You can achieve more even when you think I've done it.
Yeah.
I've reached the highest.
Sure.
There's always a little bit more. And The Rock actually is another one. He framed it in a certain way. Is once you reach the top of the tree, there's another level. Actually, it's that's actually not the top. You know, you might only be on the the 15th branch, but there's another 3 or 4 to go. There's always a little bit more. So for me, I would be disappointed if I didn't reach my full potential in all the different areas of my life. Yeah. And I'm working at it. You know, I'm working, I work every day to try and self-develop. Yeah. And ideally I get as close as possible.
Well, that's it. That's all we can ever hope for, right? Is you get as close as you possibly can.
Yeah. I wanna be able to be touching distance.
Yes.
From it. Can I ask you the same question?
Sure, of course you can.
Yeah.
I think, interestingly, the reason I was fully leaning into your answer is I think I'm haunted by the fear of being average. I'm haunted by the fear of leaving something on the table. So I'd be disappointed, similar to you, if I got to the end and realized I should have gone for something and I didn't. Similar to you as a father of 2 as well, I think. You know, you want to be a provider. I'd be disappointed if I didn't do the best for them and by them. But unlike you, I think when it came to my professional football career, I definitely left something on the table. I didn't extract my full potential. I never would have probably had the career that you had. I'm not stupid enough to think that. But I do think I left something on the table. So, a bit like you, in my 40s, I'm determined not to let that happen again. Yeah.
And that's a great answer, by the way. Great answer. Because I think what I've learned along the way is when sometimes certain disappointments fuels you for something greater.
Yes.
You know, it's sometimes when you think you are aiming for something or actually start doing that something, and then you feel the disappointment that you didn't reach your full potential in certain things, or you left something on the table.
Yeah.
But it's actually driving you for something even greater for later on. And then it's only when you join the dots backwards, when you kind of realize that, okay. That was
it was just the first
fuel.
act.
Yeah, that was the fuel.
Yeah.
And that goes with also sometimes you think you should be doing a certain thing.
Yeah.
You get disappointed. You didn't reach your full potential. You didn't get to be what you think you could have been. But it's actually showing you some things to learn, but it was actually for this direction.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was actually for this direction. So I think that's a really powerful thing.
Amen. Let's call it there. Rob, pleasure hanging out with you all weekend. And thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers,
Appreciate it.
Great time.
Pleasure.
So as a tradition on Playing the Inner Game, I always do my 3 key takeaways after reflecting on my conversation with Rob. Here are my 3 takeaways for today that will last with me and hopefully resonated with you too. Number 1, I think the importance of doing it with feeling, right? You see the enthusiasm that Rob still has for what he does, for his craft, his genuine enjoyment and just zest for life really comes through in everything that he says and does. And that quote from his under-21s coach, to play it with feeling, do it with feeling. If you're just there to tick a box, if you're just there to do the bare ass minimum, I don't think that's a recipe for greatness. I think anyone who has achieved mastery, anyone who has achieved the levels that he's unlocked, they do it with purpose, they do it with passion, they do it with enthusiasm. And it's very easy sometimes, myself included sometimes, to simply turn up and tick the box And that's not a recipe for mastery. That's not a recipe for unlocking elite levels of performance. Number 2, I think my second takeaway was he and I are haunted by the same thing, which is we are haunted by the fear of leaving something on the table and of knowing that we have potential and we did not use it. And I don't know where it comes from for him. I don't know where it comes from for me, but I know a lot of you will resonate with that too. And nothing will eat you alive quicker than knowing you could do something and you had the potential for something great and you didn't go after it. And I think a lot of life is really being able to look at yourself in the mirror and having that self-esteem, knowing that I did everything I possibly could to achieve the highest possible level that I hoped for, that I dreamed for, that I wished for. And even if you don't quite get there, as Rob alluded to, at least you can sleep easy at night knowing that you gave it your best shot. You'll end up within grasping distance, at least, of greatness if you fully go for it, if you fully commit, if you're willing to sacrifice the things that others won't. And my final takeaway from Rob is, I think, just the ease with which he carries himself. I noticed it the entire weekend. We managed to spend a lot of time together, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, today, on and off the field. He just seems incredibly happy and genuinely content. He talks very passionately about his kids and all the things he's putting himself into off the field now. I meet a lot of professional footballers and former pros, and not all of them carry themselves with such a lightness and such an ease, a natural ease with which they move through the world. He's very unattached to his identity as a former footballer. He's completely happy to just be Rob, to be very down to earth and to connect with people wherever they are. He's very genuinely interested. He has that humility and intellectual curiosity with everyone he meets. I've watched him socialize and interact with everyone this weekend, and it doesn't matter who they are, how important they are, quote unquote, whether they are of status. He really gives everyone his full presence, and when he's with you, he's with you. And I think that is something that we can all learn from.